Now at 5, Carl Junction storm sirens are back online just in time for a second round of potential severe weather.
President Biden and former President Trump hit the campaign trail. I'm Skyler Henry with how they're tackling voters' top issues and taking jabs at one another.
And a word of warning why you need to keep sleep aids out of the reach of your children.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Southeast Kansas man faces a number of charges after a standoff last week in a home officials say he was trying to rob. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. The hour-long standoff happened in the middle of the day last Thursday when a resident northeast of Caney, Kansas called 911. The caller reported a suspected burglary after discovering his door was forcibly open. Deputies used what they referred to as less lethal methods to remove the suspected burglar from the home. Andrew Cook from Coffeyville is now charged with aggravated burglary, criminal damage to property, interference with a law enforcement officer, and attempted theft by threat. His first court appearance is set for Thursday. The city of Carl Junction says its storm sirens have been fixed. The police department announced the sirens were down last Thursday ahead of a storm system moving in. Today, they had a technician come in to fix them, so they are ready for the next system. Speaking of weather, meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now.
All right, so temperatures today are pretty good, 67 outside. Pretty windy though, gusts upwards of 23 miles per hour. Temperatures across the region are getting warmer, and tomorrow we'll see temperatures get into the 70s. In addition to that, we have some pretty low humidity values and these high wind gusts. So pair all of that together, it does cause some issues for fire weather. So that's going to be in effect today and through tomorrow morning ahead of the rain system that we have moving in tomorrow evening. I'll have more details for you up next.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. The Joplin Humane Society says it has an urgent need for foster parents for their animals. They say foster homes for puppies are especially important. The Humane Society tries to keep young puppies out of the shelter to avoid them getting sick or spreading illnesses like parvovirus or distemper.
Parvo is very deadly for puppies, so getting puppies out sooner than later is great for not exposing them to viral issues like parvo, but also for their mental health as well.
Folks interested in fostering an animal from the Humane Society are encouraged to come in and fill out an application. The shelter says they provide all needs for the pet, including food, dishes, and any medication needed. Crochet fanatics recognize the month as International Crochet Month, but for one middle school student in Pittsburgh, crochet is more than a hobby. It's an opportunity. Autumn sells her crochet creations at Root Coffee Shop. She also hosts classes to teach others. Autumn says she loves watching her students' skills grow.
Fun. It's a lot of hard work. My classes, they have a lot of fun. We listen to music and I help them one-on-one a lot.
Makes it pretty clear and it's really easy to learn from her. I tried to learn from my aunt and actually couldn't, so she's pretty good to learn from.
The crochet class continues tomorrow at 9 a.m. at Root Coffee Shop in Pittsburgh. President Biden and former President Trump are staking their claims to issues they think will help them win the presidential election in November. Skyler Henry has more details from Washington.
President Biden took aim at former President Trump's health care policies during a campaign stop in the battleground state of New Hampshire.
Apologize about that. President Biden, after criticized by some Democrats, he said he should have called the suspect undocumented instead of illegal. We'll try to get you that story here in a little bit. Well, just north of New York City, an extraordinary library of popular music is in desperate need of a new home. There are about 3 million recordings in this collection, everything from signed copies of Johnny Cash to so-called bone recordings, bootlegs pressed onto X-rays and smuggled into the Soviet Union. ARC, the Archive of Contemporary Music, came to this farm 4 years ago after decades in New York City, but the land is zoned agricultural, so they needed to move on.
Because will the internet be the internet as we know it in 10 or 20 years?
Yeah.
all that stuff could disappear like it disappeared with early iPods. You just lost your stuff. We have an impossible task.
Yeah.
It may never be finished.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We do our best.
George hopes to transition from an archive to a center for popular music, but to change locations, he says he needs one thing to make it happen: money. Still ahead, mixing students with retirees.
They're redefining the term college senior. I'm Michael George with why a group of retirees are living in the middle of a college campus.
And next in Health Watch, what a new report shows about the dangers of melatonin use among kids. Topping today's Health Watch, if you're sleepy today, you're not alone. Many are still adjusting to the time change. But if you plan to turn to melatonin for sleep tonight, health experts are urging you to keep the sleep aid out of reach of little hands. Mandy Gaither has data from a new report on the dangers of young children ingesting melatonin without a parent's supervision.
It's a popular supplement that can help get those much needed Z's, but unsupervised ingestion of melatonin is sending more children to the emergency room, according to a new report.
A lot of melatonin is, flavored. It's either a gummy or a liquid. They make it to taste nice.
In the report, the CDC and U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission estimate that between 2019 and 2022, nearly 11,000 children younger than 5 visited the ER after ingesting melatonin without supervision. More than half of accidental ingestions involved children between 3 and 5 years old, and the majority of visits did not involve additional medications. Dr. Jenna Wheeler with Orlando Health's Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children says melatonin should only be used as directed.
Even though it's sold, at your local grocery store or drugstore and it's easily accessible, there still are significant side effects, especially when used in amounts greater than recommended.
To keep kids safe, Wheeler says to educate children that sleep aids aren't candy, store melatonin out of reach of little hands, and securely fasten the top of the bottle.
Melatonin caps are not the safety caps that we think of with our prescription drugs, so it's even more important to keep those up.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, the vast majority of unsupervised melatonin ingestions did not result in hospitalization. Researchers did not specify whether children whose data was used in the study experienced any side effects. Survivors of childhood cancer may not be getting critical tests needed in adulthood. Many childhood cancer survivors develop serious health problems connected to their treatment by age 45. According to a study in the Canadian Medical Association Journal, only around half of patients are screened for heart disease, and even fewer are getting colorectal and breast cancer screenings. Tobacco company marketing terms may lead to more teens using e-cigarettes. A study published in Pediatrics shows terms like vaping and tobacco-free imply that inhaling nicotine is harmless, and more needs to be done to educate young people about e-cigarettes. Researchers also found teens who use disposable e-cigarettes are more likely to keep smoking compared to teens who use non-disposable devices. And doctors are making progress in developing a new infertility treatment using skin cells. The process, called IVG, or in vitro gametogenesis, can help transform skin cells into eggs that can produce viable embryos. It's only been performed on mice so far, but it could one day help produce eggs for people who don't have their own. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, why a company is recalling tens of thousands of its infant swings.
We've also got some rain chances in the forecast, and I'll have more details after the break. Well, today was a really nice day. Temperatures getting up to 67, 68 across the region, and it was sunny out there. Taking a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort camera, you can see the clear skies. It was a bit breezy. Winds are picking up as we continue into tomorrow, but temperatures were really nice, just a little bit above average. So we are seeing that trend get a little bit warmer throughout the week, getting into the 70s, but our overnight low still is sitting right about average. We have the next rain system moving in on Tuesday. Right now, it's sitting over Denver, could be making its way into our area Tuesday evening. But for tonight, clear skies and temperatures are sticking around in the 50s, with our overnight low being just at 50 degrees. So it's going to be a pretty nice night ahead. Moving into tomorrow, clouds roll in a little bit earlier on Tuesday. 5:30 is when we're going to start to see clouds increase, and then we could see those rain potential come in a little bit later, 9 p.m., some showers and maybe some thunderstorm chances, and we'll take a closer look at that in just a moment. But we have a low risk for severe storms tomorrow and on Wednesday. Like I said, pretty low risk. It's not going to be anything severe, nothing like we saw last Thursday. And as of right now, nothing's developing in our area. Right now, it's still north of us, Kansas City, so it's moving past us, but the storms fire off right after it moves to the northeast. And we could see these storms develop a little bit earlier and hit some of our counties, in which case we would have some rain chances and thunderstorm chances. But as of right now, like I said, mostly firing off northeast of us, but right across that line is where we could see the development for those thunderstorms. And the same thing is happening on Wednesday. You saw rain pushes through just west of us. Now, we could still see that expand into our area, giving us some showers Wednesday evening as well. But as of right now, it's just developing north of us through Kansas City, with more rain chances popping up on Thursday. Now, this is developing in our area. We're starting to get some showers early, 7:30 a.m., and then by 6 p.m. is when we're going to see those thunderstorm chances. Right now, moving through Bella Vista, and we'll have more details on the later storms as we get a little bit closer. So right now, Tuesday and Wednesday, we have PM showers and thunderstorm chances. Right now, just still 20%. Like I said, it could develop in our area depending on how the instability builds throughout the day. As of right now, we're not seeing much, but temperatures are warming up as well, which could indicate some instability firing off in our area. We'll keep an eye on those storms and continue to update you. Thursday, thunderstorm chances 40%, and by Friday morning, showers still sticking around, but they will be clearing out by afternoon time. Then we're going to have a weekend, next weekend, cooler temperatures down to the 50s and even dropping down to the upper 40s by Monday, but sunny skies and going to warm back up the following week. 71 Wednesday, 74 next Thursday, but with some more rain chances in the forecast a little bit later.
Yeah, well, we need those rain chances. Hope it doesn't get too severe, though.
No, not looking too severe as of right now, but we will keep an eye on those storms.
All right, and we thank you for doing that. Thanks, Lizzie. Well, President Biden and former President Trump are staking their claims to issues that they think will help them win the presidential election in November. Skylar Henry has more details from Washington.
President Biden took aim at former President Trump's health care policies during a campaign stop in the battleground state of New Hampshire.
Republicans will cut Social Security and Medicare to give us more tax cuts for the wealthy. Even this morning, Donald Trump said cuts to Social Security and Medicare are on the table again.
Despite the stepped-up attacks on Trump, Monday morning, Biden told city leaders from across the U.S. that he's making progress on uniting the country.
I promise to be president for all Americans, whether they voted for me or not. And we're making that real progress in red communities and blue communities. In fact, there are more investments going to red communities than blue communities.
But in a recent CBS News poll, 61% of Americans surveyed described the state of the country as divided. Trump continues to take aim at Biden's border policies in both his rallies and on social media.
Biden has implemented a formal policy that illegal aliens who intrude into the United States are granted immunity from deportation.
During a campaign stop in Georgia this weekend, Trump met with the family of Laken Riley, the suspect in the nursing student's murder across the border illegally.
Laken Riley would be alive today if Joe Biden had not willfully and maliciously eviscerated the borders of the United States.
Trump also criticized Biden for apologizing for calling the suspect an illegal rather than undocumented during the State of the Union address. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Coming up, why a group of retirees are living in the middle of a college campus. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Jewel Baby is recalling more than 60,000 infant swings due to a suffocation risk. Swings were sold at Walmart stores and other online retailers. According to a notice from the Consumer Product Safety Commission, the swings were marketed and designed for infants to sleep in, but they fail to meet regulatory standards for sleep. Owners of the product are warned to stop using them for sleep and to contact Jewel for a free repair kit. The U.S. Department of Justice is investigating the January blowout of an Alaska Airlines door plug mid-flight. More specifically, the DOJ is looking into whether anything led up to or contributed to the blowout could impact the deferred prosecution agreement the plane's manufacturer Boeing entered into with the agency in 2021. Boeing and the Justice Department declined to comment to CBS News.
And
a magically delicious treat is returning to Cold Stone Creamery ahead of St. Patrick's Day. Lucky Charms ice cream is back throughout the month. Lucky Charms lovers can also order a Cold Stone creation or milkshake that includes creamy green Lucky Charms ice cream mixed with pieces of cereal, whipped cream, and gold glitter. I am hungry for dessert. All right, a college in New York has started an unusual experiment, asking retired seniors to live on campus, taking classes with students. Michael George spoke with residents, both elderly and young, about how it's going.
Meet Howard and Judy Zweig. They're college seniors of a different type at SUNY Purchase in New York. The couple, in their 80s, lives in a retirement community built right in the middle of campus.
It's been fabulous.
The Zweigs say they chose an apartment at Broadview at Purchase College because they love learning and new experiences.
It's been wonderful. We walk all over the campus and we go everywhere.
Right, left, right.
Seniors living on campus can take salsa lessons taught by 19-year-old sophomore Sela Annunziata. They can go to school events and concerts and even take classes.
We're taking a class right now on the history of Africa. And many people ask, why did you choose that class? Simple answer. We don't know anything about Africa, and we felt we'd like to learn about it.
Now, when you take a class, does this mean that you're having exams?
No, and that's why we take the class.
Annunziata, who attends classes with some of the elderly residents, says she's learning from them, too.
I feel like the senior citizens in the class, they have a lot to add because they have more experience in the world.
Just 3 months since its opening, more than half of the 200 senior living units are occupied. And the Zweigs say they haven't seen any wild college parties. In fact, the students have been great neighbors.
We've learned that living intergenerationally really works well. I think it's keeping us younger.
Left, right, left.
Redefining retirement and proving you're never too old to learn something new. Michael George, CBS News, Purchase, New York.
Well, 75% of the profits from the new senior living center go towards scholarships. That's awesome. Final check of the forecast is next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the Princess Kate photo controversy, why a family picture had to be pulled. And then on KOAM News at 6, we'll have more on the benefits of fostering shelter dogs. Plus, a Webb City, Missouri organization hosts an event to help support military spouses. And Pitt State's men's and women's teams are headed to the Division II National Tournament. We'll break down their first round matchups. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Well, an Australian shepherd named Viking was crowned Best in Show at Crufts Dog Show in Birmingham on Sunday. The 3-year-old took the title on the last day of the 4-day event where different breeds show off their abilities and skills. Around 20,000 dogs competed for the 7 places in the final. You're a dog lover.
Yeah, but my dogs aren't that talented. They're awesome, but not that talented.
Yeah, my dog would definitely not do Best in Show. He can smile, though.
That's cool.
Well, final check of weather.
Well, we've got some thunderstorm chances in the forecast Tuesday, Wednesday. Still only a 20% chance just in case development doesn't come until after the system moves out of the area. Then those storms would fire off. So we'll keep an eye on that. But 40% chance of thunderstorms Thursday and tapering off early Friday morning.
All right, be prepared.
Yes.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6, and we'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.